Begins Rochelle Trotter, Sun-Times Splash editor Susanna Negavan, and a former White House insider, Laura Schwartz. Or you are an insider, you were an advisor before.
Yes, well, I was the director of events for the White House, so that does qualify you after 8 years.
Yeah,
great, fabulous
And
years.
you were at quite an event. We're going to get to that coming up.
Yep.
But first, we want to talk about this pro-gun group pledging to put 1,000 guns in the hands of families for free. They want to give free shotguns out to people in Chicago. The Armed Citizen Project says they especially want to give these free guns to single moms, saying it'll help protect their families from crime instead of living in fear. The plan is already underway in Houston, it's in Tucson, and now they want to bring it here. A spokesperson for the group says they're dedicated to empowering residents in areas where they might not feel safe. We want to ask, though, what do you think about this, guys? When you hear about this plan, it is super controversial. Doesn't surprise you?
No, I mean, the NRA convention was all last week down in Texas, so they were promoting pro-gun everything. But I think this really, to be honest, I think it takes it one step too far. I don't necessarily think more guns are the answer to gun violence, but they are going to provide background checks on everybody and train them. Doesn't make me feel any better.
I think it's crazy. I absolutely do not think that adding more guns into society is the solution. We need to find ways to get the guns that are out there illegally out of society. So.
And especially because they say they want to provide them in crime-ridden neighborhoods where you would presume that too many guns is the problem to begin with. So that doesn't really seem like part of the solution. I actually think that this hurts the gun lobby because it makes them seem like extremists. I have empathy for the gun lobby and for some of the things that they say and their right to bear arms, but things like this are just so far on the fringe that you think to yourself, I can't rationalize this.
Yeah, and a lot of the members of Congress who went back to their home states now during the recesses after the gun control legislation failed to pass either house, that's becoming a big issue because they're hearing a lot of feedback from their constituents and they're just not happy. So it feeds them even more.
You guys, we want to talk to Joni Lund because she's been tracking this story for us here at Fox 32 all morning, and she's been listening to what you're having to say on Facebook. Joni, what are you hearing? What are you seeing people say?
Hello, friends. Well, as you know, noted, this is a new organization. It's privately funded, and they focused on moms who are single moms, but they want to go and arm entire neighborhoods. So we asked our Facebook friends what they think of that, and here are some of their responses. Anthony Hill says, as long as they have an FOID card and know how to use the weapon, it's not a bad idea for them to protect their families. Not everyone in bad neighborhoods are bad people. Elizabeth Salas says, definitely agree. Arm homeowners to serve and protect our neighborhood. And then we have a comment from Nikki Brunson Dowell who says, pretty sure we have enough guns here. No, thank you. In fact, we got hundreds of responses, a lot of people where you think they might be, and other people just saying, well, in Chicago, we do have enough guns. The people who need them have them, whether they have them legally or illegally.
Interesting stuff. Thank you, Joni. I mean, as Joni said, this really just lit up our Facebook page. People really have passionate views. Anytime you talk about guns, but this in particular, as you said, Susanna, it is so controversial a plan, so out there that you get people who believe all kinds of things. All right, guys, we want to talk about are you a tax cheat? You probably are, and you don't even know it, because if you don't pay a sales tax on all your online purchases, go back and see and pay in April when you do your taxes. You probably are, because right now Congress is taking a look today at this new law that they would say everybody has got to pay. You got to pay taxes on everything you buy online. Right now, it's only if they have a physical presence in your state. So if eBay doesn't have a physical presence, not a virtual presence in Illinois, then you don't have to pay tax. You got to go back and it's up to you.
Well, it's the same thing like if you go to a retail store and you live in Indiana, but you're shopping in Chicago and you buy it and you say, I want to have it shipped to me in Indiana or whatever, then you don't pay taxes that way either.
Well, you pay taxes on what that store charges in Indiana. So let's say you're at 5% versus...
But I'm saying if they don't have that store in Indiana. For instance, if my sister who lives in Indiana likes to shop at Lulu's at the Belle K or something like that. There isn't a Lulu's in Indiana, and so when she goes and finds something and wants it shipped to her there in Indiana, then she doesn't have to pay that. And so I think, you know, I understand the argument for paying taxes on everything online because it levels the playing field with the retail environment that's here, the physical retail environment that's here. But, you know, I looked at my receipts when I saw this as a topic, and I pay taxes on everything. Saks and Neiman charge me tax everything online and in the stores.
But a lot of people are, you know, sometimes you look at it as a savings, like, ooh, they didn't charge me tax there. I mean, I don't know if that's ever been an experience for you guys.
And they're going after, I think, the intention is some of the big retailers like Amazon and eBay, because it's not really fair to do this. It's not really a fair business practice. But the other thing is, this is a state sales tax, and a state like Illinois needs all the revenue it can get. I mean, we are billions of dollars underfunded right now, so I feel like this won't even come close to covering it, but I'll take a little personal pain if I feel like it'll help a larger issue.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. $23 billion the states lose out on every year from online purchases. So yeah, I think that would make a little dent.
It certainly would. You guys want to look at this yearbook photo because this is also another one of those very controversial subjects. So this teenage mother decided, hey, I want to put a picture in my yearbook. I want to feature a picture not only of me, but of me with my baby son. And the school said that sends a bad message about teen pregnancy. We're not going to let you feature your son. If this is the only photo you want, forget about it. You're not in the yearbook. What do you think about that?
It would also be inappropriate to take a picture with your sibling. I mean, would you bring your little sister and say, I want to be here to be in the yearbook with me? Or your pet, or your parent, or your relative, or your friend. Why would you put another person in your yearbook for it? By definition, it's you.
She said she was using her baby as a prop. No, a prop is if you're on a soccer team, here's my soccer ball. If you run, here are a pair of worn out, Nike tennis shoes. Your child is not a prop. Now, I applaud her for having gotten pregnant in junior year of high school and finishing high school. But you know what? Don't come and promote that and celebrate. Look, I did it. Maybe you can too.
Wait a minute. So let me just make sure. Let's hear this, because the schools encourage the students to bring something with them that it was very special in their lives. It's something that helped get them through.
A prop, and I think you hit it right there.
It's a prop.
A
prop. That baby is not a prop.
And
if that's what
for me, it would have been the high school newspaper.
For me, it would have been like pom-poms. I wouldn't have brought a baby. The baby's not a prop, and it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate.
Is it a bad message though?
What's a bad message is I didn't know I was pregnant, and all the there's plenty of television shows with a worse message. But you know what? Yearbooks are traditional. You've got the headshots. So next year, I am sure their guidelines will be straightforward. Headshots only.
Right. All right. And the school later did say, hey, the family pictures are for later in the book, and you could feature them there. You just can't put them in the front. All right, guys, we're going to be right back with more in the chat room. Coming up here, Laura's got a dish on this really cool insider politics. The who's who of politics showed up here in Chicago, including President Clinton, your former boss. We're going to talk about that and more coming up here in the chat room when we come.